We are broadcasting live in the Cottage Studio. Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And of course, I am your host.
Ho-Ho. Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, let's see. Welcome Twitch, welcome YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, Facebooks, and welcome Spreaker. Oh, yeah, it's been a busy weekend. Holy crap. And by the way, welcome, sir. Good to see you. And let's see here. There's something I was wanting to do, and it had been brought up on another show that I listened to that, you know, as content creators, we really don't, you know, promote other people that are, you know, doing the hard work, creating content, doing all that good stuff. And there are definitely a few shows, you know, that I listen to on a regular basis that, you know what, I got to give a shout out to. You know, I very much do. And with this particular one, I want to start off with Spreaker because, you know what, let's face it, they have a, you know, a special place in my heart. Very much do, because, well, you know, that's where I got this whole thing up and going and starting on. Good morning, Josh. And so, yeah, that's what I want to start off with. So if you are a content creator, especially if you do podcasting, you know, any type of web show really, and even if you don't, you know, if you're looking at getting into it, and even if you have all kinds of experience doing it, very good show to listen to. The Spreaker live show, which is Wednesday, 3 p.m. I don't remember if it's Eastern or Pacific. I don't remember. I think it's Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. And that is hosted by Rob Greenlee and Mr. Alex Exum. And to be honest with you guys, that is an awesome show because those two are a stark contrast in how they are. I mean, they really are. And that show has got a huge archive of stuff in there. So, I mean, just anything that you're looking to know, anything that you're, you know, needing tips, tricks, whatever, you know, great show to listen to. And, yeah, great show to listen to. And with Alex Exum, you know, the man's crazy in a good way. And he has a show out, The Exum Experience, awesome show. And that one is, well, he's on there periodically. You know, he's not, you know, he doesn't have a set time frame that he does it on. But, you know, this guy, he challenges you on how you think, how you look at different things. And, you know, he really is a treat to listen to. Awesome, awesome show. Definitely recommend that one. And listening to him, I was, you know, listening to another guy too, Dave Canyon. He has a show called Dumbing It Down with Dave, and it is the fastest podcast on Spreaker. So awesome, awesome shows to listen to. I definitely recommend you guys checking them out. And yeah, it's a good time. So I am going to go ahead and take a quick break right quick. I forgot to do something, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So just a couple minutes, and I will be right back. I got to change that, and let's go in and do this. All right, a couple minutes, be right back. welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and just get right into it. Let's go ahead and start. Wait, no, I got one more thing before I do that. I like the music, by the way. We got one other show that I'm wanting to listen to here before we get going, and that is another member of Weaponized Sloth Productions, the Machine Radio Show, hosted by Brandon Gatton, co-hosted by Matt Vacker. And they are live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Awesome, awesome show. Highly recommend it. Oh, yeah. You had to go ahead and stop the music. So without any more further ado, without any more gilding of the lily, let's go ahead and start in on the show's topic that we're going to cover today. And, you know, listening to a few other shows in there, and hi, welcome, guys, by the way, Samantha, hi. Facebook ho-ho, that's right. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. I got a couple articles that I want to talk about today, and this is one of the, guns, guns, and more guns, guys. I mean, it's just, it doesn't get any more clear than that. There is a couple things I'm wanting to address in here, and let's go ahead and just look at the article. Oh, wait, I forgot to do something. Dadgummit, I hate it whenever I do that. Where'd it go? There it is. Oops. All right, here we go. Now, this article comes from Red State, Historical Roots of the Second Amendment, done by Devin J., July 10th, 2018. Wait, no, that's today. I think it was done on the 7th or something. I don't remember. It was done last week, maybe. No, at any rate, it doesn't matter. But I was reading this, and there were some parts in here that I didn't even know. There is parts in here that aggravated me a lot, actually. You know, and it was one of them things that, you know, I thought, well, okay, granted, I knew that the Constitution has, you know, that the founding fathers, that they had a lot of, you know, influence from other, you know, the Magna Carta, you know, they had influences from, you know, in Great Britain, they had, you know, a lot of different things that they kind of, you know, took the stuff and put them together, you know, so I knew that there was a lot of history in there, but I didn't quite know just how far back this stinking thing went as far as, you know, especially with the Bill of Rights. You know, it goes back quite a while. And I'm bringing this up because, you know, as part of the gun debate, you know, one of the things that, you know, is brought up with the Second Amendment is it a, you know, a community right? Well, what's the word they used? Community right, I think. Collective right, yeah. So is the Second Amendment referring to a collective right or an individual right? You know, a collective right as something that is to be used on certain circumstances by certain individuals, or is it supposed to be a actual independent or individual right for the use of self-defense? You know, so before we get going too much further into this, you know what? Let's just read the Second Amendment. Holy crap. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Collective right or individual right? Well, in reading this article, let's... I think this is actually in the very first one. Yeah, here we go. All right, so this whole gun debate started, as far as it looks like anyway, 1689, the 17th century. So during the Middle Ages and through the 17th century, Englishmen was not only allowed to own a firearm, but they were expected to own one. Yeah. Kind of like, what's that country? Switzerland, maybe? Yeah. They're kind of expected to own one. And if you actually look at the Militia Act, I think it was the Militia Act that George Washington signed in, you know, it was, you know, every fighting age male from 18 to 40, I believe, was expected to own, a gun, military-grade firearm, and a prerequisite amount of bullets and powder, because they loaded them they didn't have spiffy-diffy, bullets and casings like we do have now. But at any rate, that's what they were expected to do. They were expected to own that stuff just in case it was needed and just in case they needed to defend the nation, because back then, they didn't have a standing army all the time. So it was up to the people to defend the nation. Granted, they were expected to train to do different things like that, but at any rate, that's what they did. So, moving on into this article. You know what? I'm just going to read this entire paragraph because I'm telling you what, this is one of the things that very well illustrates the question of whether the Second Amendment is pointing to a collective right or an individual right. So let's go ahead and look into that. Let's read that. Hence, the 1689 Declaration did not create a new individual right. It recognized a previously established natural right, and it specifically addressed the individual right to bear arms. Parliament, in fact, specifically considered and rejected any language about a common defense or collective right. The great British legal authority, Blackstone, described the right as absolute and belonging to the individual. It had both a collective purpose, common defense, and an individual purpose, self-defense. But the collective purpose could not be realized absent the individual purpose. Holy crap, what does that mean? Simply put, without an individual's right, the collective right doesn't even exist. It's not possible. So to answer the question, is the Second Amendment pointing to a collective right or an individual right? Well, quite honestly, the answer is both. The collective right in a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, and the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It also stands to know, and, I tell you what, guys, this is an awesome article. There will be a link to it. Okay, I got a text message. Sorry. Anyway, very, very good article, and I highly recommend you guys. Okay. Another text message. All right. Anyway, love text message. Squirrels are rampant in my life. They really are. But what was I talking about? Second Amendment. Yeah, this article, definitely a very, very good article. There's a lot of history in here, and I definitely recommend y'all checking this out. There is a link in the notes somewhere. I put it in there. I really did. A link to it takes you to Flipboard, but check out the article. Awesome, awesome article. And this sucker even knows that there are, if you have the question of whether the right of the people is put in there as an individual right or a collective right, it stands to note that there's two other places in this thing where it is obviously an individual right. And those are the First Amendment and then the Fourth Amendment. See, the First Amendment says, I'm going to kind of breeze through this a little quick. Congress shall make no law representing or respecting, sorry, I can read. Let me stop and rewind that. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble. And in the Fourth Amendment, of course, that wasn't all of the first, but anyway, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects, and all kinds of other stuff that it puts in there too. But in these two amendments, it stands to note, but that it is not once, or has it ever been, argued whether it is an individual right or a collective right. Obviously, it's an individual right. Just stands to know. Now, there is some sections in here that absolutely tick me off. But before I get into that, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about our nation is that we are not a a typical country as the world looks at it. You know, we were an experiment. You know, we really was. We are a country, or I guess I should say a federation of countries. Illinois is a country. You know, a lot of people don't really understand that. But whenever Illinois decided, now this is going to the collective right or the individual right. I have a point to this, I really do. Whenever Illinois decided to join the Federation in 1818, man, I'm from Illinois, I don't remember, I don't know. 1818, we'll go with that, 1818. They agreed to this. They signed off on it. They agreed to limit themselves in the way that this thing prescribed. It wasn't the freedom of speech unless the state decided they didn't want you to have that freedom of speech. It wasn't the freedom of press unless they decided they didn't want you to print that. That's not what it was referring to. You know, they didn't have that right to just pick and choose. But guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I get back on the other side of this, we're going to talk about it. What makes it different? What makes it special? Couple minutes, we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. Oh yeah, guys. So, as I was saying, before I got interrupted by the break, the whole individual, collective right, there's a reasoning why it's like that. And the reasoning is, if you look back into history, let me stop that. Now this article, I just got to read it. I just got to read it. Now this, I'm going to let you guys know that this is a part of this thing that ticked me off, because it was one of them things that the states decided they didn't want to honor certain things about the Constitution, period. That's all it amounts to. But this is almost the bottom of the stinking thing, and I am just going to show you guys that now. Showing it to you. Oh, I forgot to do something again. All right, here it is. We have, right at the top, we have historical evidence of how the counter-argument, the right to bear arms, is a collective right. would operate in the United States. That argument contends that the opening clause spells out the limitations of the amendment and it ends there. It asserts the right is a state right to be used for state purposes, namely a well-regulated militia. This infers that a state can regulate guns however it sees fit, and including confiscation, up to and including confiscation. That historical evidence is rooted in the ugliness of the aftermath of the Civil War, when many former Confederate states enacted Jim Crow laws, the rise of the KKK, and the denial of the right to own guns to newly freed slaves. For a while, the South was indeed everything a free American should fear. So it's no surprise that Ida B. Wells, a prominent black journalist, champion of civil rights, and one of the founders of the NAACP, wrote, "A Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give." That's why it is dangerous to have a collective right. And we've already seen this in our history. You know, the collective right to keep and bear arms, where they actually do limit and infringe upon the Second Amendment. It's like, what the hell? You know, I mean, there's some things that are coming up. And I want to talk about this just a little bit because it's so annoying. It's so frustrating. I don't understand the argument. But at any rate, awesome article. Definitely, guys, you know, take a look at it. SOS. Yeah, definitely. As long as you're referring to same old shit. Yeah, you are. Sweet. Anyway. I'm okay. Really, I am. Okay, maybe not. I have ADD. It's amazing. I love it. Continuing on. Check out the story. Check out the story. There is another article touching base on, and I'm sure that you guys have heard on Monday. What's the guy's name? Brett Kavanaugh. There's a lot of letters in that name. I'm assuming it's Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh. Anyway. So he brings one of the articles here on Fox News is Kavanaugh brings a clear reasoning to Second Amendment decisions. That's why liberals are freaking out. They definitely do not want this guy in there because, you know, he takes, and holy cow, if we actually do this, you know, he takes the Second Amendment literally. That's how we should take it, you know. There's a thing in here, and it cracked me up. It really did. See, this guy was up in a balcony whenever he was announcing him, or whenever he was about ready to read something about the Second Amendment, and the guy that was next to him was like, "Oh, holy crap, you know, we got somebody who's taking the Second Amendment seriously." And it's like, dude, why is that a problem? Or at least if that's a problem, look, I'm going to tell you this straight up, guys. If you don't like the Second Amendment, it's part of the Constitution. It is what it is. It's there for a reason. And it's for individual protection. Why do some people carry guns? Because cops weigh too freaking much, and there's not enough of them to go around. You know, I mean, Hillary Clinton wants gun control. Why does she want gun control? Because she has freaking security. Not to mention that gun control doesn't do anything in order to stop criminals from getting guns. All it does is hinder law-abiding citizens from having guns, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point. But if you don't like it, go to Australia. They have great gun laws. Go to Great Britain. They can't even have a knife anymore because violent crimes didn't really drop whenever they got rid of the guns. You guys remember that? That was hilarious to me. You know, it's like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. But yeah, it's frustrating, you know, because here's the thing, guys. We don't have a democracy. We have a constitutional republic. We do. That's what we got. And you don't want a democracy. You know, I've mentioned this before. You don't want a democracy because if you want to know what a democracy looks like, it is two pedophiles and a parent talking about the legal age. You don't want that. It's two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. Well, yeah, it's great for the wolves, but it sucks for the sheep. You don't want a democracy. We have a constitutional republic. And one of the things about that cracks me up, well, not really cracks me up. It's one of them things that, you know, we have not a top-down government. We have a bottom-up government. We don't, you know, we elect representatives, not leaders. Anyway, I think you guys all understand that concept. I'm sure you do. But yeah, Kavanaugh basically has a history to bringing the reality of the meaning behind some of these things up to the forefront. And that is one of them reasons why this article cracks me up. Democrats, this is from the Federalist, by the way. Democrats don't fear Brett Kavanaugh. They fear the Constitution. Again, if you don't like it, go to a different freaking country. Don't try to change this one that we worked so hard, you know, years, blood that was sacrificed. Go somewhere else. You know, go to Australia, go to Great Britain. If you don't like it here, go somewhere else. But they fear the Constitution. That's what they fear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This other article. This is actually from the Associated Press. I don't use them very often because I don't like them. But this headline, Associated Press, Democrat, I can read, really, I can. Demonstrators force Fox crew from Supreme Court broadcast. David Bauer, AP media writer. He wrote in here that they were about ready to, now this was like a couple hours after they had announced him being, Supreme Court justice nomination. And I guess they were outside. They were going to be doing a live feed thing for the 11 p.m. broadcasting, news broadcasting. And I guess the demonstrators out there were just angry. So they were like, yeah, we can't do this. You know, and the lady, it was funny because, okay, not funny, it was pathetic because she was, you know, this, you know, it's like I've been in negative things before and it was no big deal. This was different. They were angry. They were violent. And it's like, holy crap. You know, are they actually that butthurt because in a matter of speaking, they did not get their way? That's what it seems to me. You know, I mean, heck, ever since Trump got elected, what have we seen? You know, arguing about this, that, and the other, standing up, protesting, oh, he's not our president, you know. And, but that's what you see, though. I mean, they're just fruitcakes. They're, you know, snowflakes. They're, you know, snowflakes. I had read something. Somebody was like, you know, what is a snowflake? What does that even mean? I don't get it. You know, it's a snowflake. They're individual. They're rare. They're blah, 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 blah. It sounds like a good thing. I'm like, no, it's not a good thing. It's weak. It's easily crumbable, and they melt. It's not a good thing. But yeah, you know, these guys are just up in arms because they didn't get their Democrat, they didn't get their socialist, they didn't get their whatever Hillary Clinton was. I actually heard that she is thinking of running again for 2020. I'm like, dude, why are you? No. It's like, are you kidding me? I actually seen this in an article not that long ago. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. This is something, where's it at? Gonna, and right there. Likes, yeah, this came out, when did it, there it is. Yeah, is Hillary Clinton secretly planning to run for 2020? And this came out in, the New York Post, of course. July 7th. Yeah, okay. Is that right? Yeah, okay. July 7th. And so, yeah. Is she actually looking to make a run? I don't know. But here's the thing, guys. She's not even eligible. She's not eligible at all to run with the things that she had done with her email scandal. She's not even eligible to run as president because she has violated, you know, the not copyright laws, classification laws, the class of words and stuff. She's violated that. She got caught. I don't care what her excuse was. The law does not cover anything about your excuse or your reasoning for doing what you did. The law says if you did this, this is your punishment. She did it. She got caught. She should be in jail. Bottom line on that, she should absolutely be in jail. Why she's not, I have no idea. Taking a quick break, guys, and I will be right back. Welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. And Mr. Fuller brought up something that Hillary is ineligible to run for any office, and that is absolutely true. Now, I mean, there was a huge litany of stuff that she had done, allegations brought forth, and basically enough was confirmed that she absolutely did it. And this is the thing. It's like, I'm not even going to argue what her intentions were on any of it, because the law is clear that the intentions do not matter. It doesn't. Okay? Bottom line is, with what she did, she put people's lives in danger. You know, with the type of clearance that she had, with the information that she had, she put people's lives in danger. So, I mean, there's no arguing that. There's no, you know, there's no other way to look at it. There really isn't, you know. And because of that, with what she was caught doing, she can't, you know, she can't run for a public office. She really can't. You know, I mean, good grief. She was exonerated before the investigation was even well underway, before anything had been taken to the prosecutor. She was exonerated. It's like, dude, you're not even done with the investigation yet. How can you, you know, how can you exonerate her? How can you, overlook everything that is even under investigation right now? But anyway, that's another time. It doesn't matter. And greetings, Mr. Walters. How you doing? So yeah, there's that. There's that. Let's see here. What other story did I want to get into? Oh yeah, I remember which one I was wanting to do. Let's get back into the magazine. I got out of it because I wanted to include the Hillary thing. I had to include that in there. But this nope, that's not it. Here we go. Now here's one of them things too, guys. All right. When it comes to our form of government, the Constitution is boss. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Everything that is being, anything has to first be weighed against the Constitution. Does it hold water? If it does, great, we can make it a law. If it doesn't, then sorry about your luck, it's gone away. That's the whole purpose of the Supreme Court. Just so you guys know, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to bring into it bias, theologies, anything. They are supposed to look at the Constitution, look at the law. Does this violate that in wordage? If so, nope, it's no longer a law. Can't do it. But here's one of them things that annoys me. This article comes from the Daily Signal. To promote gun control, the UN changes the rules. Now, this one, they're claiming that this is something that isn't, that it's nothing. It's about small arms trading or small arms. What's that called? Small arms something. The small arms. Crap. Yeah, it's about small arms. Importing, trading, something. Illegal arms, small arms dealing. There we go. Whew, that hurt my head. But that's what this thing's about. And basically this article says that there's nothing in here, there's nothing to see here, and of which case, that's one of the things that, we all know that if they're saying there's nothing to see here, then that means that we should pay attention to what they're talking about. Let me go ahead and let you guys take a look at that. Bam, there's the article. The Signal. To promote gun control, the UN changes the rules. Now, here's the thing, though. There is already a gun, a gun ban type of a thing that so many people have to, so many nations has to agree to in order for everybody in the UN that they are supposed to, operate this way. I don't, because that happened a long time ago. I do not remember what that was actually about. Exactly, Fuller, exactly. But yeah, that's one of them things too. Yeah, it functions more or less as a treaty, and of which case that's got to go through the proper channels, and yes. But I don't remember. I wish I could remember how long ago that was and what that was exactly about. But it was about basically a weapons ban, confiscation, ban on guns through the UN. And I think there was 57 countries that had to sign off on this. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was done during the Obama administration, and our UN person signed off on it. And of which case, you're signing off on a treaty that goes against what the Constitution says. You see where the problem is here? Why that was allowed to go through, I have no idea. I don't even know if we pulled out of that. I don't know if we can pull out of that. But the bottom line is, just like Fuller said, we need to get out of the UN. But I tell you what, though, what's her name? Nikki Haley is our UN. Is ambassador the right name? She's a UN ambassador or UN representative. But yeah, she did, with the things that I've seen of her, the things that I have heard of her, the things that she has said, dude, she's awesome. She does a darn good job. She does a great job there. I mean, it was great whenever they were talking about the, with North Korea, she brought up a 20-year history of how North Korea has, gone against and whined and cried about things. And it was a great 20-year history, basically saying that, these guys are just whiny babies and, we should deal with them as such. They want to whine like a baby. We should treat them like a baby. And that's pretty much what we did, So, yeah. Good times. Where's that at? There it is. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So, yeah. Guys, ladies and gents, I thank you very much for watching. That pretty well concludes the show. That's all I got this time. Short show. 41 minutes. Good times. I am going to try to keep these things a little bit on the shorter side for a while. Maybe even do more of them. I do have my mobile studio up and, I have it back. So I will be doing those whenever I go out on the road, going up to Canada and whatnot. So you will be hearing those, which are only going to be available on Spreaker, but they will be getting shared to some of the other platforms as a embedded player and whatnot. So I thank you guys very much for joining, for listening, for watching, for viewing. And yeah. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. This way you guys can get notified anytime a new video comes out. And yeah, that covers it. So you guys have a great one. Good night, sleep tight, and if the bed bugs bite, well then, by golly, bite them back.